Costin Williams went from working at a plumbing supply store for $15 an hour to making $60,000 a month with his Skool community.
The best communities honestly don't really make sense. The amount of value that is inside of the classroom doesn't make sense for 99 bucks a month.
In this video, I talk with Costin about the stupid, simple viral video strategy that helped him grow to 250,000 followers.
With just that little bit of effort, you get 10 times, 100 times the amount of returns.
How he uses free trials and trust building videos to convert a market that is suspicious of online education, and the #1 mistake he sees every new community owner making.
I see a lot of communities where what they're selling, I don't know, it's not that crazy. Product is really everything, dude. If you got a baller product, everything else will work itself out.
Costin, super excited to be talking to you, man.
Dude, me too. I'm stoked to be here, bro.
So you posted on Schoolers recently in the main Skool community saying that you're making $60,000 a month right now with your community, which is insane. But you also said that like before that, just a year and a half ago or something like that, you were totally broke. Like,
Yeah.
tell me about that transformation. Like, how did it start? Like, what was it like before you even started doing this?
So, really the only reason I'm here today is because I got married when I was 18. So I got married and I had a job at a plumbing supply store, and I was like, dang, I don't know what I'm going to do. I got the job at the plumbing supply store so that I could learn like more, like I could learn what the parts were and all this stuff. And I was going to apply to the union, because I'm from Alaska. That's
Okay.
where I grew up, and there's not much to do there. It's either you join the union or, I don't know, going to college. Definitely not my type.
Hmm.
So the union was pretty much my only option at that point, and I just kept procrastinating. And eventually my wife got pregnant, and I was like, crap, 15 bucks an hour ain't gonna cut it, so I gotta figure something out. So I was thinking like, I had no skills, just trying to figure out what to do. I had some business opportunity kind of fell through, so I started editing videos on the side
Okay.
to help pay the bills. And then my dad had just decided to start his personal brand, and I
Mm.
had just been editing videos, and he was like, hey, why don't you edit videos for me on the side? And then that eventually scaled into a full-time thing, just editing videos. And we originally had another business that we started that fell through. So there's been lots of failures. And then I kind of moved out of video editing and more into copywriting. And we had this big audience and we didn't have anything to sell them.
Okay.
And so we were like, well, we can start the Skool community. We had known other people who were in a similar niche that have done things like this. And so we started it off. And originally it was high ticket. It used to be 990 bucks a month. And we hit this point where like it was just too expensive. Churn was too high. It cost too
Mm.
much to acquire customers. So we had to like completely restart, which was kind of poopy. But it got us where we are today. And technically, that's how we won the Skool games the first time.
Oh,
It's
okay.
because we had to kick everybody out and then have them rejoin at the cheaper price. So we
Uh,
wouldn't have been able to win the Skool games. Technically, I know you're not supposed to do that because it's kind of like a pump and dump a little bit. But
but it sounds necessary for your business anyway. So,
yeah, it's been going a lot better now that we've lowered the price, and it just
mm.
makes it way more accessible.
So one thing that's really interesting to me there is that you said you had a big audience before you even started to do Skool, and that was because you were making videos and helping your dad with his personal brand. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about that a little bit. So what was your dad's audience like before? Like had he already built this brand, or like how did you kind of level that up?
Gotcha. Yeah, so I think when I first started working for him, he had maybe a couple hundred or maybe like 1,000 followers
Okay.
on Instagram. I don't think we really had any subs on YouTube or nothing on TikTok or really Facebook either. And then the first few months, we got up to like 10,000. It wasn't that impressive. And then there's a guy here on Skool, Viral Coach.
Okay.
He's from Alaska. We were from Alaska, and he was starting this new Viral Coach thing. And so we were one of his first clients, and he did it all for free just to
Mm.
see if it could work.
Oh,
And
cool.
I learned a ton from him. And in that first month of working with him, we had gotten our first video over 1 million views.
Mm.
And then so I just started studying. Like that one guy says, I studied, bro, in the
Mm.
Johnny Walker, sipping the Johnny Walker, whatever that one cringy guy says all the time. But I just studied a lot. And within the first like 6 months of doing it, I think we hit 50,000 followers. And then like a few months ago, we just surpassed 100,000.
Okay.
on Instagram. I think we're at almost 30K subs on YouTube. YouTube is our worst performer for sure, but then I think we're about 250,000 followers across platforms. And it's
Okay.
really just been stealing other people's videos, dude. Like at the end of
Okay.
the day, there's no creative process to it. It's just like finding videos that have already performed well and rewriting them for your niche. It's actually stupid simple.
Wow. Okay. I was really curious about that, and I still wanna get into it even though you're
Okay.
telling me how simple it is,
Mhm.
because I don't like, if it's that simple, why isn't everybody doing it? And, like, is there anything else to it?
So like, yeah, I guess the two big things are one, finding videos that have already worked and redoing those. And a lot of problems that people run into is if you're like doing something somewhat new, like we were, for example, there's not very many plumbing business owners
Hmm,
that are killing it on social media. So it can be kind of challenging to take videos from a completely different niche and figure out how to repackage it into
hmm,
your niche. And then the other part is lowering the reading level. I don't know why more people don't do this,
hmm,
but like Alex Ramosi talks about this all the time. I'm pretty sure like over half of the US, it's probably even higher, are below a sixth grade reading level.
hmm,
And I've gotten into arguments with so many people who are like, well, my audience is doctors, so
right,
I need to speak at a higher level. It's like, no, 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 you don't understand. Even the doctors, bro, they
hmm,
are below a sixth grade reading level. Like your reading level doesn't really have anything to do with smartness.
hmm,
And you're not lowering the value of the content by lowering
yeah,
the reading level. You're just making it easier and arguably more valuable for them,
right.
which is, yeah.
That makes sense. And I imagine that when people are scrolling on social media and stuff too, they might not be looking for like the content that is going to give them, like, I don't know, that's going to make it challenging for them to understand. Like they're probably going to want something that's like, I get this right away. Otherwise, they're just, their attention will be moving.
Yeah, and it's really just a consistency game, and it takes I know I said it was pretty simple, but, like, in the beginning, all I would do all day is write the scripts. So
Mm,
all of our social media videos are scripted out 100%. The whole entire video, it's not like we
mm,
just set up a camera and film it. So there is a lot of thought that goes into it, but in my mind, the amount of effort that you have to put in versus how much more of a return you get than most people is superior, and that's why it still seems simple.
mm.
'Cause, like, with just that little bit of effort, you get 10 times, 100 times the amount of returns.
Hmm, that's super interesting to me. So you spend a lot of your focus to get that kind of reach on Instagram through the scripting of the videos. And it's
Correct.
not so much about like feeling, is it about feeling natural on camera? Like what's the camera thing like?
So camera actually plays a huge role into it. In the beginning, it was definitely easier to tell if they were scripted. My dad's
Mm,
gotten a lot better at reading the scripts, and, like, if
okay.
something sounds funny, he might change it up a little bit just so that it can roll off his tongue easier.
Yeah.
But, we do fake podcast style clips.
Oh
So,
yeah.
like,
Okay.
we'll fake being on a podcast, and the reason for that is actually kinda interesting. Like, people don't like to be yelled at and told what to do, right? So if you're just
Yeah.
telling them that they're doing everything wrong, they're gonna hate you. But
Mm,
when you're in a podcast and, like, we film them this way, so you're not directly looking at the camera, it looks like we're talking to somebody else or that we're
right.
having a conversation with each other, and people just feel way less intimidated, and so they're way more likely to listen to you, and then they'll relate it to themselves like, "Oh, I guess I'm kinda in the same situation as that guy."
Right.
Versus you just yelling at them. And so podcast style or fake podcast style clips have been a huge one for us. And the only
Mm,
reason we don't do real podcast style clips is because it's just hard to be that precise with your words. Like I've probably said
mhm.
50 bajillion
Yeah.
times. And then you got all these cuts happening and all this stuff to get out all the ums, or maybe, he missed a word.
Yeah.
And so by faking him, you're just able to get a much more polished look.
Hmm. That makes a lot of sense to me. So it's like giving people the impression that they're listening in on a conversation rather than they're being like directly told that you need to, do this in your business or you need to buy my thing. It's a lot more kind of fly on the wall.
100%. I mean, everybody loves to see somebody get torn down and ripped apart like, "Oh, dude, you're doing this wrong. You're doing this wrong."
Mm,
And it's so much better when you can just look and be like, "Yeah, that guy's an idiot." And then you realize, "Oh, I'm doing that too.
right.
Uh-oh, am I an idiot too?" And then, yeah,
Right.
much, much better.
So I want to shift and talk a bit about like that learning curve of building a school community because, if you're starting it from scratch, I'm presuming that was that your first school community that you built?
Yeah, it actually was, yeah.
Okay. And so what was that like getting your first members and then transitioning all the way up to 60K a month? Like,
It was pretty cool. I think the biggest thing that I learned from doing all that is that, like, the best communities honestly don't really make sense.
Hmm.
And I'll explain by, like, the amount of value that is inside of the classroom doesn't make sense for 99 bucks a month. Like, we got a guy who joined, I think he was doing 600K in revenue a year with him and 2 other plumbers out in the field. And he's like, I think he's gonna hit 4 million this year
Wow.
from the knowledge inside the classroom. Granted, he's worked his ass off, dude, and
Yeah.
most people don't come in and work that hard. But and honestly, it would have made more sense for us to just start another plumbing business because my dad grew his plumbing business to 5 million and then sold it and he got bored. So he's like,
Okay.
"Oh, I'll start doing this, right?" Um, Technically, it would have made more sense to start another business because we could have grown that thing to 5 million pretty fast.
Hmm.
And so I see a lot of communities where just what they're selling, I don't know, it's not that crazy. It's not that great.
I
Like, I've
see.
learned that product is really everything, dude. If you got a baller product,
Yeah.
everything else will work itself out. Like, you can have poopy ads, you can have poopy creative, you can have a poopy about page.
Yeah.
But if your product is baller, dude, like anybody would sign up for a school group that says, "Hey, if you pay $1, I'll give you $1 million."
Yeah.
It
I
doesn't matter how many followers you have or any of that stuff.
hmm. I love that. Yeah, my own focus personally has shifted a lot more to product.
Mhm.
When I first started on School, I was really focused on the community thing. It's important, and that's what School's trying to do. But
Yep.
now that I have a product that I feel is a real no brainer kind of thing. It's like you don't have to sell it. You don't have to put a lot of effort in. People just want it because it's good. On that note, what kind of communities are you seeing? Because I know you're on School a lot. Like, what kind of communities are standing out to you in terms of like, oh, these people are actually delivering something awesome?
Um, it's hard for me to be able to tell, um, because I know there's a bunch of different categories, you know? Like, if you go to the games on here, there's
Mm,
hobbies, music, money, spirituality. I'm always like I like the money categories because
yeah,
I think these ones make the most sense. It's just like, "Hey, man, you join and I help you do XYZ." Like the Maker School guy
yeah.
helping you land your first automation clients, and then the range, the cyber range, that guy, dude, when he was speaking at the school games, it was like genius. They come in and then he helps you like get a job
Mm,
pretty much, your first IT job or whatever his exact niche was. So I think that the ultimate meta is just having a community that teaches you how to make more money than what the community costs,
right.
or gets you an outcome that is worth more than the community costs. And that's why I kind of have a problem with like just hangout communities or like communities for people who are passionate about stuff. I think that's awesome. And if you're willing to spend the money on it and you have the money to spend on it, I think that's great. But I don't see those communities creating substantial amounts of revenue at the end of
Yeah,
the day, which is fine. If that's not your goal, then so be it. But I'm here to make money, man. I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't making money
yeah, yeah. That
at the
makes
end of the
sense. And
day.
I think especially when School was at the $99 price point, it's like you kind of had to figure out a way to make money through it. And now with the $9 plan, it makes sense that they can open it up and uh,
Yeah.
people can do hobby communities. And maybe they're not making 60K a month, but even if you can make $1,000 a month doing your hobby or something like that, that's
Yeah.
still pretty amazing.
Yeah. I think that's still cool. That's still fine and dandy.
Hmm. What are some of the things, some of the kind of struggles that you've had in terms of building your community? Like, what kind of roadblocks did you guys get into? What kind of bottlenecks?
So far, the biggest roadblock has been the steadiness of ads, right?
Hmm.
So, like, I don't, I really want to, am I allowed to swear on these or is that
Sure.
going to like, yeah, I really
I
want to
would.
make a shirt that says fuck meta respectfully because,
Hmm.
dude, dealing with Facebook and like majority of our traffic comes from ads. Despite our social media following, we don't really sell that much from social media. It's mainly just paid advertising.
Hmm.
And it just seems like sometimes Facebook is like, hey man, we're gonna do really great this month. And then next month, we're just gonna screw you over.
Hmm.
And I know there's probably more than that. I don't want to put the blame on Meta. But like that's been the hardest part is just keeping ads consistent. Our audience, I know you're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to blame your audience for stuff. it's always supposed to be your fault and I'll take full blame for it or whatever. But I think our audience is definitely a little more skeptical of the online space, just plumbers in general.
Yeah.
Online education is pretty foreign to them. So it's always been a little bit more expensive for us to acquire customers.
Mm,
Our ROAS is usually around zero point 0.5 on a good month,
mm,
which is okay because our churn's always been low. I think the LTV of each of our customers is like 2 grand. So if it costs us $500 to get somebody in, we still make
mhm,
$1,500 over a lifetime. But the hardest part has just been consistently scaling ads and watching them like not go from, oh, we're at all the way up to point 0.8 and then bam, next one, 0.2. It's just like
mhm.
a complete roller coaster.
Hmm, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't have enough personal experience with ads, but, yeah, I know that dealing with the meta machine can be pretty nuts.
Yeah, yeah. We've lost when we first started, dude. I think I'm just gonna say it was only 50,000 and not 150,000, but a thing in my brain is telling me it was 150,000.
Wow.
Our Facebook account got hacked and we lost like 50K and we still haven't gotten it back. Just
Wow.
never got it back, just gone, which is kind of interesting. It's sick to be a big company because then it just you can suck and it doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm. One of the things that struck me when I was looking at your community was the way that your VSL worked, and I think this is like speaking to the I don't even know if I'd maybe call it a VSL. It was kind of like how to use Skool, like how to sign up, how to use Skool. And I found that really interesting because it really does speak to, I think, people who are skeptical about using online software, about like getting online education through something like this. Like so many
Mhm.
people have been burned, so maybe let's like talk about that. Like what made you decide to really walk people through that process of joining and learning about Skool?
Yeah, so before we had that, we had, a traditional VSL and then the slides with testimonials and then like a
Yeah.
join now slide. And I don't remember what the exact percentage of the people that watched the video was, but it was pretty low, dude. It only had like a 20% completion rate. And
Mm,
it was a pretty badass VSL. Like it was a good VSL in terms of what the average is or whatever. And so I was actually talking to Ryan Duncan, and he's like, dude, you should just scrap your VSL and just go
mm,
with the photo. So we did that and we watched conversion rates go up. And then we were wondering how to get it up to go more. So we thought to add this because a lot of people, um, we'd get like a ton of people messaging us like, hey, man, does your community work for HVAC or electricians? Because our
mm.
community is plumbers, but it's all kind of the same.
Okay.
Um, and in my mind, I'm just thinking, dude, why are you even asking this question? There's a 7-day free trial and it's
Mm,
only $99 a month. Like, just join and figure it out.
yeah.
Obviously, I didn't tell them that. That'd be being an asshole. But so we came up with the idea to do this little video because what we were thinking was happening is that we'd get these people, they think it's going to be free. So they go sign up and it's like, hey, enter your credit card. And then
Mm,
they're immediately like, "Oh, they're just gonna charge me, and then I'm not gonna
right.
be able to cancel." So that was really the whole point of that. And then
Mm,
I think it just helped people get into the community and understand how it works too, because we've also had people not know about like the different like they didn't know that there was a classroom.
yeah.
I don't know how you don't figure that out, but we've had people who literally get onto School and they have no idea how it works,
Yeah.
which isn't surprising with our audience. But that was really the whole reason for it is just building trust.
Hmm. That makes
Yeah.
sense to me. And I think that like maybe that's specific to that free trial thing. So I guess like if people are using the free trial, that strategy seems like it could be a really good one.
Yeah.
Let's talk a bit about the free trial. Were you always doing a free trial? Because that's not something that I don't see it very often on School.
We have always done the free trial. As soon as it became available, we turned it on.
Mm,
And we did notice an increase on our return on ad spend. It definitely made it easier to get people there to sign up and everything. And our trial conversion rate has always been fairly decent. I think right now we're
mm,
like 60%.
okay.
So I'm not really trying to turn it off or anything. I don't want to turn it off and then see my about page conversion rate just,
Right.
which I have a feeling would happen. I mean, the way that I think about it is I want to make it as easy for my customer to sign up and get value. Like I want to make the time to value. I don't know Hormozzi's equation. He
Mm,
has some equation on this, but I want to make it as easy and as fast as possible for them to get value, and free trial helps with that.
right.
So in my mind, it's a no brainer. And I think if you have a low free trial conversion rate, then you probably have a shitty offer or community. Because
Mm,
if people are getting in your community, they're deciding that it's not it. It's either your offer or your community sucks, or you're just attracting the wrong people.
mm. That makes sense. Yeah, and I guess, like, to what you were speaking about before, if you have a market that's kind of more skeptical about online education, or, like, entering their credit card number feeling like they might get scammed or something like that, then
Yeah.
having that free trial, walking them through that process, reassurance could make a big difference.
Yeah, I agree. And if you don't need it, then don't turn it on. But we honestly never even really thought of if we didn't need it. We just said, oh, that seems like it'll make it easier. Let's turn
Yeah.
it on.
Is there anything that you're, like, excited for in terms of, like, the future of school, how things are moving?
Dude, I'm really excited for the tiered subscriptions. Like, I'm really hoping what they can do is have the community locked. So we make the whole program free and the classroom free, but the community is what we charge
Huh.
$99 a month for. That's what I'm hoping to do. I think that'd be the most baller way to do it. Cause then the dope thing is the community will be amazing because you're only going to get people who
Yeah.
intentionally paid for the community.
Hmm.
And then thinking about like locking only like half of the calls, maybe. And there's like a cool kids club call that you also get with the tiered subscription.
Mhm.
But I'd like to keep it really simple, just two tiers. One, you get access to the community. One, you only get access to um, the classroom.
I haven't heard anybody mention that idea before, I don't think, in terms of locking the community, because that seems like the thing that school is, right? Is, like,
Yeah.
it's the community, so how could you possibly lock that? But, I think what you're saying could make sense in some situations.
I
Um,
think it would only work if you had a really, really big classroom. Like, I don't know how many modules we have in our classroom, but it's honestly retarded. I can double check on that number about. We have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, we got like 24 freaking modules.
hmm,
So I feel like you could you could get people to join just for the classroom
yeah.
if you have enough meat.
Yeah, it's kind of like a lot of people give lead magnets and stuff like that. So it's just, rather than giving them a lead magnet in a PDF or some YouTube video, you're giving them, like, the community is the lead magnet in a way, and then you just shift them over into that community part once they start paying.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna do that because it does seem very counterintuitive for school,
Yeah.
but that's the way that I would like to be able to use it.
Hmm. Cool. Well, Costin, really lovely to speak with you, man. And
Dude,
I'm really excited to see how you keep moving on school, because you're doing some really cool things.
dope, dude. I appreciate it. And thanks for having me on here, man. It was cool talking to you.